Good afternoon, Ben Robertson in the Townsville newsroom. Coming up tonight on your local news, Townsville police question a man following the discovery of a woman's body in an Annandale home. Liberal politicians on the Strand give manpower a run for their money, stripping down to mark World Ocean Day. 3 Townsville soldiers join the ranks of hundreds receiving Queen's birthday honours. And in sport, Brothers win the inaugural Magnetic Island Rugby Union 10s competition, defeating the Redskins. Those stories and more with the Win News team tonight at 6.
Tonight, the best comedy lineup is on Win. Friends, Suddenly Susan, Veronica's Closet, and at 9, Michael J. Fox in Spin City.
Tonight, Annandale man charged with wife's murder.
Chi blasts One Nation over sugar exports.
And Cowboys riding high after Magpie mauling.
Win News with Craig Campbell and Bridie Barry.
Good evening.
Good evening.
A Townsville man has been charged with murdering his wife, the alleged victim of a domestic dispute. Police officers called to the couple's Annandale home just before 4 a.m, found the woman's body.
It was a tragic end to the Queen's birthday weekend. Police arriving at the Annandale address in the early hours of this morning to find a 42-year-old woman.
A Ford Falcon station wagon came to rest in a front yard after colliding with a Commodore sedan.
Next, a multi-million-dollar boost for defence housing.
And Polly's stripped down to save the ocean.
Hello, Bruce Paige. Coming up in National 9 News, boating trip turns to tragedy for a Brisbane schoolboy. Claims of a deal as One Nation gives preferences to the coalition. Who's on the Queen's Honours list? Celebrations as the Opals take bronze. We'll have details soon.
Thanks, Bruce, and welcome back to Win News. A damaged pipe created a traffic hazard in North Ward this morning. Council workers called in to divert vehicles. It's understood the pipe burst around midnight, cutting water to homes in the surrounding blocks. Traffic was redirected around the resulting hole in the road as council workers surveyed the damage and prepared to repair it.
Townsville's building industry boom is set to continue with $90 million in defence housing contracts secured for the next 3 years. About 500 houses will be replaced or refurbished throughout the Twin Cities.
The Twin Cities have been enjoying healthy building figures for around a year now, and thanks to the large local defence industry, that trend is set to continue. The Defence Housing Authority has committed $90 million in building work over the coming 3 years.
DHA are going to refurbish about 300 homes in Heatley, Vincent and Aitkenvale, and they're going to build another 182 new homes. That'll be over 3 years, and with an emphasis on the first 2 years. A lot of the money will be spent then.
The work is a plus for both soldiers and builders. Capital Works creating more jobs in the north. It also spells long-term spin-offs for other industries in the region.
There's always a multiplier effect in the community, and when the government spends $90 million, in fact, that could translate to as much as 3 or 4 times as much by the time it passes through the hands of the community.
And while the Defence Housing Authority's commitment will support local private builders, recent talk of the authority being privatised has been ruled out.
That shows that the government is not particularly committed to privatising everything. DHA wasn't considered to be a government business. It was considered to perform much better in the form that it was in.
Max Futcher, Win News.
Insights on a range of common and peculiar medical problems were shared by world experts at a conference in Townsville on the weekend.
It's pretty important that we get education right and we make sure that we can establish long-term jobs for our children, because that's how we're going to grow.
Time now for sport with Bridie.
Thanks, Craig. The Cowboys send the Magpies packing, all the league action next. Then Brothers take the cash on Magnetic Island.
Hello, Bruce Paige. In National 9 News, boating trip turns to tragedy for a Brisbane schoolboy. Claims of a deal as One Nation gives preferences to the coalition. Who's on the Queen's Honours list? Celebrations as the Opals take bronze.
And on a current affair.
A crime with no reason. The suburban mum executed in front of her children, and still nobody knows why. Plus, taking on nature's fury. People gambling recklessly with life.
National 9 News, followed by a current affair.
Good evening. Well, the cloud must have known it was a public holiday today. It cleared our neck of the woods by around midday. To the temperatures recorded around the region, and Huontanua, the coolest down to around 10 degrees, a little off the lowest in the state though, -2 at Kingaroy in southern Queensland. The maximum temperatures look none really to pick out. Most northern centres from around 26, 27 and 28 today. At the moment in Townsville, it's 12 for the winds, 22 degrees as you can see there, humidity at around 73% as we speak. The satellite picture and the lack of activity here makes Queensland the envy of the continent. Look at that. No cloud at all inland for our parts of the state. The only clusters that we can even mention are these high-level features that are too far offshore to do any damage. To the bigger picture, and again, Western Australia has bared the brunt of most of the cloud activity. You can't miss their cluster there. Some hail for that region today, a strong wind warning current for WA, Victoria and Tasmania. To the chart and the cause of our weather, these two features here, the high and the low in the Tasman. They're both directing some very dry westerly winds, and while that means some very cold nights for southern states and southern parts of Queensland, its impact is a little less in the north. There remains a small amount of moisture in the air for us, so although the fine days are expected to continue, we should be spared the drastically colder evenings that are plaguing some of those southern parts. So to the forecast, fine for the Herbert and Lower Burdekin with moderate winds, coastal sea breezes in the afternoon. Maritime observations, 11 at Lucinda, while it was 19 this afternoon at Davies Reef. Coastal waters forecast for tomorrow, Cardwell to Bowen, southeasterlies to 20 knots, freshening to 20 knots again by morning. Tide times, high tide at just before 8 for Townsville, and for Lucinda, high water will be at over 2.5 metres. Sunrise and sunset 6:42 a.m. the sunrise tomorrow, sunset 5:42 p.m. for the north. That's it from me. Now it's back to Craig.
See you again tomorrow. Thanks, Magella. Hundreds of revellers made the short trek to our own backyard paradise this long weekend, enjoying the delights of the Magnetic Island Festival. Horseshoe Bay was the focal point of activities, the beachfront coming alive with music, dancing and food.
How could anyone ever knock North Queensland weather? Conditions for the Magnetic Island Festival picture perfect. Ben Robertson, Win News.
That is Win News for this Monday night. Good night.
Good night.
With Bruce Paige and Heather Foord, this is National 9 News.
Schoolboy killed in a Brisbane River boat tragedy.
Coalition's chances improve as One Nation decides its preferences.
Pleasant surprises in the Queen's birthday honours. Good evening. Police are investigating whether too many people were aboard a powerboat which crashed on the Brisbane River last night, killing a teenager. The Brisbane Boys College student died when the boat carrying 9 people slammed into the riverbank at Indooroopilly. A 16-year-old girl was badly hurt.
Parents rushed to Nudgee Junior College, desperate to learn if their child had survived the afternoon joyride, which had killed 1 youth and left another seriously hurt. 4 boys and 5 girls aged between 16